Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is May, and on today's tutorial I'll be showing you how I made this beaded backless kimono with drawstring design by the sides. I am so sorry that I've not been posting for a while. If you are new to this channel, please smash that subscribe button, like this video, turn on post notification to get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back here. And if you want to see how I achieved this, please keep watching this video. So guys, you'll be making use of beads, and I advise you use crystal beads and not sand beads. And the one I have at the moment is actually sand beads, and the black one I don't even know what to call it, but it's sharp beads. So I advise you use crystal beads for this kimono. So guys, I'll be making use of 68 meters and few inches, which I'll be using for the front joining, and I'll explain that later. So when you fold the 68 meters, when you put it on fold, what you will have is about 34 inches when it's on fold. Yes, 34 inches. So at this point I've cut out the extra and I've kept it aside. So the length of, I'll be using the whole length of this fabric actually, which is 44 inches. And on the upper part I will measure half an inch, which I'll be using for my starting point, and I will use a ruler and rule this. Yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is to put this fabric on fold again, that is into 4, because I'll be cutting the front and the back together. Then I'll gently use my pin to hold this down. You might be wondering what I'm doing at this point. I am trying to indicate which is front and which is back. Yes. So I have about 17 inches if it's folded into 4. Yes, I have about 17 inches. So I'll divide my shoulder into 2 and I'll place it like this, 7.5. Then I'll be using the rest for the sleeve length plus sewing allowance. I'm using 1 inch for the sewing allowance because I'll be folding the edge. Yes. Then for the shoulder slant, which is actually optional, I'll go down with 1 inch. Then from there I'll mark out my armhole measurement plus 1.5. So at that point I came in with 1.5. So technically whatever that is your sleeve length, you mark it down, then you come in by 1.5 and mark it out just like I am doing right there. If you understand me, then you come in just like this by 1.5, then you mark it out just like I'm doing right now. Then you slant the shoulder, which I will still slant again. So for the neck width, it's supposed to be 3 inches, but I'll be using half an inch for the joining, so I'll be marking out 2.5 inches. Then for the neck depth, I went down with 1 inch, but I found out that if I go with 1 inch after joining, I will have half an inch, which is basically nothing. So I later went down by 1.5 inches, and I'll use my ruler to slant this very well. I actually made a mistake the first time, and please don't be like me. So I'll slant it correctly, then I will cut this out very gently. So this is the part I came down by half an inch, and I'll connect, then I'll use my scissors to cut it out just like that. Then I'll gently remove my pin and I'll open it up like this and use my scissors to separate the front from the back, just like I am doing right now. Then after that, I'll take the front part, or I'll take any of them because they're still the same at this point. So I'll take any of them and I'll put it on fold, but this is for the front. Yes, anyone you take should be the one for your front. So I'll put it on fold just like this, and after that, so I'll come to the neck part. What I have for the neck depth is 2.5, right? That is what we marked out before, but I'm going to be marking out 2 inches. I'll be using the half an inch to join the front part, so I'll mark out 2 inches from top to bottom. Then I'll use my scissors to cut this out very gently, just like I am doing right now. So guys, because of the other piece which will be attached to the front part, I'll have to measure the length of what I have here, and I'll double it by 2, and I'll add extra 10 inches or about 15 inches allowance, which I'll, if it's more than, I'll cut off once I'm done joining. I measured this one and it was not enough. So you remember the one I earlier removed from the 68 inches? Yes, I'll bring it and I'll measure about 6 inches for the width of the joining, because it will be on fold. So I want about 3 inches when it's on fold. So I'll measure about 6 inches for the width, and the length, if this length is not enough, you have to double it and you will join it, if you get the gist. So guys, make sure you have an equal line. Make sure that whatever you are connecting, the lines you have, it's equal and it's straight. That is why you have to use your ruler to connect the lines you've already marked out with your chalk. Then once you're done doing that, you cut this out, because that joining can be very tricky, so you have to just take it one step at a time. So once you're done cutting this 2 piece, what I'll have to do is to join both of them, since the whole length was not enough, is to join, and I'll have the complete length plus the extra 10, about 15 inches I have extra. So I'm done cutting this out. I'm trying to show you that you have to, so I'll be using half an inch to join this, and at the end of the day, when it's on fold, what I'll have is 3 inches. So guys, I will get the back part and I'll put it on fold just like this. So I want the back opening to be about 5 inches. Yes, so the neck width I have here is 2.5, but I want to minus about 1.5 inches. I want to cut it out 1.5 inches. Then I will use the extra 1 inch to stitch that place down. So just look at what I'm doing, you'll understand better. So I'm connecting the 1.5 inches with my ruler all the way down. So once I'm done doing that, I'll use my scissors to cut it out just like I am doing. And after cutting it out, I'll use that extra 1 inch that I didn't cut out. I'll use it and fold half and half, which is 1 inch. When I fold it half and half, I'll use it to stitch it down all the way from the top to the down part, if you understand. So I'll do it to the left part and I'll also do it to the right part. Yes, so I'm just showing you how it will look like. Yeah, you will still have your 2.5 inches being cut out. So once I'm done doing that, I will get the front part and I'll place it to the back part. So I want it to be equal. So the front part is a bit shorter than the left part, so make sure that this part I am marking, or I'm placing my markings on, is equal. Both of them are equal. So I'll go in by 1.5 inches from the round sleeve down to the down part. So once you're done marking that 1.5 inches down there, you placing it down there, you use your scissors to cut it out just like I am doing right now. So once you're done doing that, you cut this off just like this. Yes. So guys, moving over to the piece I'm going to be using for my drawstring. So I want the length to be about 20 inches each. Yes, and I want the width to be 2 inches each. Then when I fold it in, I will have lesser than 2 inches. So I'll measure what I have here is 4 inches, and I will divide it into 2. That is 2 inches each, and I will cut it out. Then even after cutting this out just like this, I will still have to shear it into 2, because I want to have a total of 4 inches for the drawstrings. So I'll fold this thing in and I will go and sew it down. So guys, I am done joining the shoulder. I am also done joining the round sleeve part. I've stitched down the round sleeve with 1 inch. Yes, I stitch it half and half inch, which is 1 inch. Then I've not joined the sides, and I've not joined the down part, and I've also joined that 1 inch for the back part. So guys, the next thing to do is to join this part to the front part. You can see that the front part is a bit half inch bigger than the back part, and that is what I'll be using to join this. So determine the midpoint of this actual piece, the midpoint, that is what you'll be using to join one part of this piece to the front part. If you can see how I'm holding it, yes. So I will take this to the sewing machine and join the first side, yes. Then I'm done joining it. You can see I opened the back, I actually opened it up. That is why I've not joined the sides. So this is the midpoint of this. I've joined the first part I needed to join, and what I'll do is to divide 5 into 2, and I'll mark out 2.5 inches, and I'll also do the same to the other part, yes. So once I'm done doing that, since I use half an inch to join the first part of the joining, I'll also fold in half an inch. Just look at what I'm doing, half an inch by the side, this side, and half an inch by the other side. Then I'll use my pin to hold this down, just like I am doing right now. Watch very, very closely, you will understand it better. So once I'm done doing that, I will also fold in half an inch by this side, by the other part of the piece. I'll fold it in, and I'm gonna be stitching on top of the first stitch. Yes, if you understand it correctly, I'll be stitching on top of the first stitch, yes, on top of it, just like this. And while joining, you join from middle down to the other side, and once you're done, you repeat the same thing to the other side. So I've turned this to the back. I want to show you how to join this before I go join it on my own sewing machine. So I'll be using half an inch at the round sleeve to join. Then by the sides, I'll be marking out 1 inch. Yes, once I'm done marking the 1 inch, I will connect it just like I'm doing right now. That is how my stitch is gonna run. This is how I'm gonna run my stitches. So guys, at this point I'm done joining everything that needs to be joined, and I've also joined the down part. Yes, I've joined that down part with 1.5 inches. So I forgot to tell you to stop stitching at the length you want your drawstrings to start. So from this down part, I took my tape up to 10 inches, but I later went up to about 15 inches since the rope is about 20 inches, so I went up by about 15 inches. So after doing that, I will have to open it up just like this, and to that side I wanted to start placing my drawstrings. I will open it up just like this because that is how I want it to be. I'll open it up, then I'll take one of this thing and I'll place it at, I will mark out the place I want to start sewing it, and I will measure half an inch, and I will take half an inch upwards and place where I marked on that same place I marked on the main fabric, if you understand what I mean. Then I'll use my pin to hold it down from the other part. Yes, I won't be holding it down from this exact part. I'll hold it down from the other part so nothing gets in the way of my stitching and there is no pin left inside of what you have already stitched down and covered up. So once I'm done doing that, I will make sure I will fold in just about 0.25 inches. I will fold it in. So in order not to make any mistakes, you are supposed to use your chalk and mark down. Yeah, you are supposed to use your chalk and tape and mark down 1 inch, so you make sure you are not taking more than 1 inch from that side. So you're supposed to use your pin to also hold this down from the other side and not where I'm holding it down now. So I'll be stitching this down just like I am showing you guys right now. It is that easy. So I'll do it to the 4 parts where I want the drawstrings to be. So guys, I will take this to the sewing machine to go and stitch it down. Make sure you do not stitch on that rope you passed through that. Yes, make sure you do not stitch on that rope. You are only stitching from the upper part where the half inch is placed down to this part, and this is the effect you're gonna have. So remember not to stitch on top of the rope inside. So guys, let's take this to the sewing machine right now. So guys, we are done stitching and this is what we have. So I'm trying to show you the effect of the drawstrings after stitching whatever you need to be that needs to be stitched down. So this is the effect on the kimono. Yeah, so you can go as you can go up as much as you want, but this is how I want it, so you can improvise. I'm only showing you how to do it. So guys, moving over to the back part where you're supposed to attach your beads, you determine where you want your bead to stop, where you want to stop attaching the beads. So I went down by about 22 inches or 20 inches, so you know what you want. So I marked out 22 inches here. So guys, it's time to attach the beads. So I will get my pin and my thread. My black thread actually got finished, so I'm using this brown one to do that, and it won't actually show because the beads are black, so I'll do it in a way that it won't show. Please don't be like me. So I'll determine the distance, which is 5 inches. So in order to know where to stitch down the beads, I'll have to use my tape to mark out the lines, just like I'm doing right now. So after doing that, I'll use my thread and to put this in and needle to do the necessary things. So watch as I use my bead to like stringing this in is not easy. That's why I advise you use a crystal beads, because crystal beads are way much better. So as you're stringing it in, make sure you always measure with your tape to be sure of the distance between the two. So once you're done doing that, I had to run my needle twice inside this bead so that it will be strong. So once you're done doing this, the first one, you stitch it in and tie it to make it very, very secured. So this is for the first one. We'll move over to the other parts and just take it one step at a time, guys. So once I'm done doing this, I will do it to the rest of the lines I've marked. So I am done, and this is what we have here. So guys, at this point, if you liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.